Hey YouTube, what's up? Y'all, I'm getting ready to give my opinion on Liv's life, honey. I need her to come in here and sit on this couch because it's at this point it's getting ridiculous, y'all. Like, and let me say this. I never thought that I would be reacting to any of her videos, let alone more than one. Um But I've seen this time and time and time again. I've seen this over and over. And I know in some of my previous lives where I've done reactions, right? I've said that I've worked with, moms that have gotten the kids taken away and things like that. And just want to make sure that everyone knows that this is just based on my opinion. I don't know these people. This is for entertainment only, but I had to react on it because I mean, YouTube is for entertainment, right? And if you put it out there, it's liable to be reacted upon. Um, and frankly, it's all about the kids. And again, I've seen this time and time again, and these moms, I feel like they come up with these excuses, right? And I'm not gonna be on here long because my baby might be waking up in a few minutes because he might not be all the way asleep. So we're gonna get into it. Liv, Olivia. I'm not gonna call her Liv. Her name is Olivia. Olivia. I'm reacting off of this. I think it's the most recent live she did. I think it was like 50 something minutes or something like that. I tried my best to get through it all, but I got the gist of it. Olivia, you gotta come in here and sit on this couch. Why? Because you need someone that's going to be very direct with you. And I want to also put out there, of course, I'm a licensed therapist, but I'm not your therapist. So I'm gonna make sure that I put the link in my description box just so you'll have it because it will behoove you to go ahead and get into some therapy, Olivia. This is what you sound like to me though. First of all, and again, this is all my opinion. Olivia, you're doing a lot of complaining. That's what it sounds like to me. You're doing a lot of complaining. She came on here and she said that she couldn't, she basically uprooted her life to be like near her kids because her kids apparently live in a different state or what allegedly or whatever. And she, had to spend so much money to be near them. First of all, that's what moms do. Like on one hand you say, oh, I spent all this money, like, oh my gosh, I had to spend all this money to be near them. But if your kids are not near you and you want to be near them, that's what you're gonna do, and you're not gonna say anything about it. Like that would be nothing to you. But maybe you saying it just off GP, you know what I mean? Maybe that's why you saying it. But then you started talking about, oh, she couldn't find her son's game, she just had the schedule. This is what Olivia sounds like to me. She sounds like a mom that when she had her kids with her, it sounds like to me that either she wasn't very engaged with her kids or her kids were in her care but they weren't involved in anything. Because baby, I'm gonna tell you something. If my child is in football, dance, um, what is it, gymnastics, whatever it is, as a mom, that is your responsibility. Like that's just in my opinion. Maybe everybody do it different. And of course, Liv, she's seeing it different, evidently. But sometimes dad might take them if might take the child to the class if mom can't go, but usually it's the mom who's doing all of those things. Usually it's the mom's responsibility to take them. They know what's going on, they know how much the class is, what days the classes are on, the times, when they're going to have competition. You got to keep up when you got to sign them up for the competition. You got to pay for the entry fee and all of that stuff. Now, granted, her kids are not in her care, right? But it appeared that she got on live complaining that, she didn't know where the game was. All she had was a schedule. Well, Olivia, as a mommy, and as a mommy who whose children are not living with her at this time, and as a mommy who's really, really, when you think about it, you've got to gain the trust back from your kids. Girl, you're going to have to go and find out where that game is. Not getting online and getting on live telling everybody else you don't know where the game is. I don't care if you had to call 20,000 coaches. You're going to find out where their game is. That's what leads me to believe that when they were in your care, either you weren't engaged with them or either your kids weren't involved in anything. Because it's easy as a mom when you don't know something, you go into that mode of trying to figure it out. And you're going to go to the end of the earth to figure it out. Right. And it's just certain things that come naturally to you. Like, okay, I got the schedule. I don't know who to call, but I know what school my son go to, right? It ain't nothing to get online and find a football league. It can't be that many where the little boy live at. You see what I'm saying? Now, and I'm gonna get to something else too, but Olivia just sound like that kind of mom where she don't want to, almost like, to be honest, like she lazy. Like she don't want to do nothing. She want everybody to do it for her and just give it to her. Did y'all see when she was in the I think she did a live previous to that where she was and it's my damn fault because I had been looking at the girl live, so now the damn thing come up on my damn timeline, right? So I said, well, yeah, let me look at it. But I'm probably gonna have to react to this too because this is just ridiculous. When she was in the dang on U-Haul, right? And she was going to get the U-Haul, and she was telling the man that she wanted to put a hatchback or whatever the hell it is on the back, right? She was gonna put the hatchback thing back there for the car, I guess, or whatever. Did y'all hear how she was talking to the man? Like her tone, like she was like, "What do you want me to do?" Like I don't know. It just seemed like a I don't like a provocative tone or something. Girl, you at the U-Haul place. And he was like, bag. She was like, how? And he like, how? Girl, if you don't drive this truck and bag and park behind this truck, this U-Haul, girl, what are you? I don't get it. I really don't. And I can see how her behavior that she displays, because remember, we are online. So let me take a step back. We are online. So it's certain things that we don't know, right? And I'm gonna get into that a little bit more in a minute. It's certain things that we don't know, and it's certain things that she's only going to put out there, right? She's not going to put everything out there. She's only going to put some things out there, right? But it appears that the things that she's saying and putting out there, it doesn't place her in a positive light. She then said that, she shares her life. She'll say that on one hand, but then in other lives, she won't share information, or she appears to be aggravated by the people who are following her or leaving comments um and things like that, right? So again, it seems like she the kind of mom that wasn't really involved, and now that she got to do some shit as a mom, she don't know what to do. Girl, anybody else would have found where their baby game was. They would have found out where their game was. It can't be, but it can't be that many kid football leagues in wherever he is. And then she went on. Now this is this is why I put her and heal. Where is my dang on note at? I didn't put, because I had put a note, and I said, well, Olivia, you gotta humble yourself a little bit. Hold on, y'all. Dang, I done had it right here too. Hold on. Hold on. I'm finna find it. It's right here. It is right here. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I sure had it. She said she was talking about the dad's girlfriend. I guess because the kids live with the dad and the dad has a girlfriend. And it appears, I guess, that she has been kind of helping him, take care of the kids and stuff like that. And baby, Olivia said, y'all gotta forgive me. Cause it's funny at this point. Oh, here it is. Olivia said, who is she? I those are my children. I'm the mom. Well, everybody know that, girl. But you mean to tell me, because see now you could have had some you probably could have had some leeway to say that before if your kids were in your care, Olivia. But your kids are with somebody else. So now that you in this different type of situation, you gotta gauge what your situation is. That's just like, how people say when you go to a restaurant or whatever, uh, and you're talking bad about the server and things like that. You're talking bad about the people who helping you and all of that. You don't know what they getting ready to do when they go back in the back to get your food. You don't know if they getting ready to spit in your food. You don't know if they getting ready to At one time it was one. I think it was a long time ago where they said the man was putting the meat down in his pants and putting it on the plate. You don't know what they getting ready to do to your food. So you gotta watch your mouth, right? You mean to tell me that you cannot even pretend like, because remember, you hollering about your kids and they only my kids, which everybody know, right? But somebody else is taking care of your kids. So you have got to humble yourself until your kids get back in your care. Girl, that you ought to be uh telling that girl thank you, because you don't have one kid, you don't have two. You got three that she helping take care of. So, in my opinion, it would behoove you to extend some thanks, some gratitude, some appreciation to that lady for taking the time to do what she's doing for your children, because she don't have to do it. She could be treating your kids any kind of way based on based on your behavior towards her, based on your attitude towards her. It could have been based on the simple fact that she know you don't like her, which is probably known, right? Anytime, that's in general. Anytime you in a situation like this, you can pretty much assume that it's not a good situation, right? They may not be getting along. So she could treat your kids any kind of way based off of that. And people do that. That's common. People do that. You hear all the time. I mean, some moms treat their own child differently and act crazy with their own child because they don't like the daddy. Because the daddy did whatever. So you mean to tell me somebody that you don't know from a can of paint, she could be doing anything to your kids. So for you to get on her and be like, well, who is she and she this and she ain't this, but I wouldn't say that, Olivia. I wouldn't let that come out my mouth, because I don't know. I don't know. And the way that you talk about their dad, it seems like you don't really trust him with them either. I wouldn't say that about the lady, because I don't know what she's capable of with my kids, right? So I thought that was really, I thought that was bold, baby. I mean, you say what you say, like you say them your kids, honey. But I would not be saying that. I would humble myself a little bit until I got my babies back, you know, just to ensure that they're going to be treated with respect and, cared for, because you don't know that lady like that. Y'all already don't get along because of the situation. So I wouldn't be speaking like that. Um, uh, Also, she said, now, this is another thing I wanted to bring up, y'all. This might be an unpopular opinion, but she mentioned too that, she's tired of the disrespect. She's going to get her respect. Those are her kids and things like that. And to some degree, I agree with Olivia. I think she's going about it in the wrong way, because at this point, uh it ain't really about you, it's about those kids. You know what I'm saying? It's about those kids and how those kids are doing, how they're thriving, if they're thriving. You trying to get as much time as you can with them, trying to move forward with the next step, right? And she's saying that she's going to get her respect. She's tired of disrespect. And when you look at the behavior of, okay, let me take a step back. This situation is where, she was married to the dad. They got a divorce, right? And in general, when people get divorced, I mean, couples in a relationship, each person could be the nicest person ever, honey. They could be the nicest person ever, wouldn't hurt a fly, wouldn't bust a grape. People report, oh, they had a great relationship, and it could be. But baby, once they sign them papers to get divorced, you're gonna see a whole nother side of that person. They gonna say things they ain't never said before. They gonna do things you never thought that they would do. Because most people, when they look at divorce, it's war. It's at this point, it's me against you. Since you don't want to be together no more, since we decided to break this up, and I don't know if this is their situation, but some couples who have assets and things like that, oh, now we got to split our ish up, and we got to figure out who gonna get spousal support and all this stuff. Baby, it's war. It's me against you. So when her kid's dad, there was videos showing him like on Instagram, saying, his truth and things like that. I don't agree with that either. I would assume and I would imagine that both sides are still hurt by whatever happened between them. And when you hurt, your behavior is going to show that, right? So him getting on that Instagram and showing and saying whatever he was saying, you ain't even, you won't even call your kids or whatever he said, right? That tells me that there's still some level of hurt there. Now, the level of hurt may not be for her, maybe it's for his kids, probably so, right? Because what dad wants their children without their mom? What dad wants to see their kids hurt because they haven't talked to their mom? What dad wants to see their kids hurt because the mom doesn't live near them and can't attend? Because remember, he got to answer those questions from them kids. Well, when is my mom coming to my game? Well, she said she was going to come, but she didn't come. Same as vice versa when people say the dads don't show up. Same thing. He got to answer to that. And in general, when things like this, when separations happen, dads aren't the ones in that position. So it's probably been difficult for him to navigate this whole situation. But then, too, you got to remember that is still their mom. So it doesn't look good either for him to be getting on her saying what he's saying, no matter what happened between them. Because, like I said before in my lessons learned video, when you're in your 30s, right? Uh, when them kids grow up, when those kids grow up, guess what? They are going to see all of this stuff on the internet. They're going to see it all. They're going to know what the daddy said. They're going to know what the mama said. They're going to see disrespect from both sides. And how is that going to you know or whatever, how is it going to uh help or hinder them? It's going to hinder them, right? It's going to hinder them in some kind of way. And I mentioned before too, when you have one child, you can kind of control how, or you can kind of see how they may turn out, based on how you kind of raise them a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, 100% you cannot, but you can pretty much know what their temperament is, what their personality is kind of. But when you have more than one kid, you get to two, three kids, four, five like that, it's one out the bunch. It's gonna be always one out the bunch that don't fare well. I mean, it's just the odds of it, right? That's just like if somebody got anybody, Lord God bless them, anybody that got four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 or more, anybody that probably got two or more. I'm only saying that because I got two. Anybody with two or more, honey, like for real, you got to think about it. It's okay. Somebody that got three, four, five kids, right? Somebody might be on drugs. Somebody might have behavioral issues. Somebody might have mental health issues. Uh, you're gonna have extremes the more kids you have. That's just the odds. So maybe one or two of them might be okay, and they say, "Oh, I ain't worried. I ain't worried about it." But that last one, or one of them out the bunch, it's going to hurt them what is going on. It's going to forever hurt them. It's going to forever affect them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it still hurt on both sides. Just my opinion, and my expertise in mental health and working with families and stuff like that. I feel like it's hurt on both sides that hasn't been dealt with. They probably need family counseling. They probably need family counseling. And even though that they're divorced, they can still do family counseling because they have kids together. They got kids together. They're going to have to learn how to co-parent effectively, right? Because I don't know how long they were together or anything like that, but you could be with somebody 20 years and still not really know who they are or how they will respond to certain situations simply on the fact that they haven't been through those situations before. You see what I'm saying? So when a new situation comes up, you don't know how they gonna react. I mean, you've been knowing them for 20 years, but they never been through something like this. So they might react totally different than what you thought. So that's why we need to go to counseling so that way we can learn how to co-parent effectively to ensure that these kids are thriving appropriately. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. And I heard Olivia mention, I see that she sees like people co-parenting really well or whatever. Well, girl, that's them. Everybody's situation different. Your situation is not like that. Now, not saying that it can't get to that point, you know what I'm saying, but you're gonna have to do the work. Both of them, they're going to have to do the work to say, okay, let's put our pride aside. Okay, let's leave this whole situation from now on off of social media, and we're going to go to a mediator. We are going to go to a therapist that will see, because it's therapists that will see all of them. They'll see them kids individually, they'll see them as a family, they'll see Olivia individually, and they'll see the dad individually, right? Now they're not going to share information, you know what I'm saying, with what Olivia tells them with him and vice versa. And they're not going to share what the kids tell them unless, there's harm to themselves, there's any abuse or neglect, things like that. Then of course we have to break confidentiality and we are mandated reporters, right? But at least they will know what is really going on from every side so that they can guide them appropriately. That's what it's going to take for this to get to a better point. Because again, with the dad getting on social media and saying what he needs to say too, you could tell that this is some hurt there, and it could be hurting for his kids. And it appears that he's expressing his aggravation, his anger about the situation, or kind of like why she won't do right, or she should be doing this, whatever. But anytime someone is angry or upset, can't control their anger, things like that, underneath that is sadness. Underneath that is hurt, right? And again, it may be simply on the fact of your kids, because nobody wants their kid to be in this situation, And to be honest, no parent is perfect. Every parent makes mistakes. Some mistakes are more grave than others. You know what I'm saying? But when you know better, you do better, right? So, yeah. So then another thing on her side. Now I don't agree with him saying what he need to say either. Now he has I guess, his girlfriend helps him, whatever. Kudos to her because a lot of women won't do that. A lot of women have that list. A lot of women got that list of requirements, and baby, on the top of that list be he can't have no kids because you got a whole set of issues, especially if you don't have your own kids. Now it's different when you meet somebody, you had kids already, they had kids already, then y'all have kids together. But girl, you ain't had no kids. You ain't had no kids. And then you come into the relationship and he got three. Baby, kudos to you. I couldn't be me. I couldn't do it. I ain't even gonna lie. I couldn't do it. And people say never. I'ma say never. I'm never, never. I couldn't do it. Girl, I'd rather be by myself. Is you crazy? Do you think, do you know how much responsibility that is? You are responsible for someone else's three children. You not only got to take care of them, it ain't like the dad always had them and you met, it's some dads who have taken care, raised their kids from birth, and it's only been the dad, right? But now entered into a relationship. You've entered into a relationship where now I'm thinking about this deeper and I might be on her longer. Lord have mercy. You have entered into a relationship where he has basically it appears that he has custody of his kids. They're in his care all the time. Girl, you gotta cook. Are they married? Because I assume that he and Olivia are divorced. So is he married to the other woman? And if not, girl, that's a whole nother story because you acting as a wife, right? You gotta cook not only for him, but you cooking for them kids every day. And baby, kids, they eat. They want breakfast, lunch, dinner, three snacks, right? Then you got to wash them clothes. You got to wash their clothes. You got to get them up early in the morning for school. Now, keep in mind, you don't have any children, right? So you have sacrificed. You have sacrificed your single life, baby, for married life, but you're not married. He must be a hell of a man. And he might be. He might be. But you have sacrificed your single life. And I have friends that are single and stuff like that that want to be married. And I tell them, girl, you best to enjoy your single life while you are single. Because married life is work and it ain't bad work. It's just certain things that, say for example, if you when you single and you cook and you don't want to wash the dishes, girl, you can leave them dishes in there 4 5 days if you want to. You may not have done your laundry in a whole week, a week and a half. You can leave it there if you want to, but being married is about doing things when you don't feel like it, right? Because if I don't feel like it and I don't do it, then and that means that I'm not doing my part. And then that means I can't expect him to do his part, which is bring that dough in the house. You see what I'm saying? So guess what I better do? I better go ahead and get up and do them few little dishes. Now I might be tired or whatever. But then I think, well, he probably tired too. But he ain't complaining. He ain't saying, no, I ain't gonna go to work. No, I ain't gonna bring no money in. Right? Least I could do is do the dang on dishes. Least I could do is have a hot meal. Now, if I'm single, I ain't gotta worry about none of that. If I'm single, I can go on to give me a little Jamaican dinner or whatever. Give me some a little oxtail dinner. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever I want to do. whatever I want to do. Go give me a fish plate or something like that. But when I'm with somebody, when I'm married, it's a different type of work, right? So you gave up your single life, where you could have y'all, let's look at the pros and cons. The single life where you could have been traveling when you wanted to, where you could have moved to wherever you wanted to move. You got black women now that's moving to Mexico, baby, permanently. You hear me? You hear me? Permanently moving all areas of the world permanently. Ain't got no kids, none of that, doing what they want to do, right? You could have took a job hell in Rwanda if you wanted to. You see what I'm saying? But you gave that up. You sacrificed that to take care of three children, and it's honorable. You know what I'm saying? Because every child does need a mother, a mother figure, in my opinion, in their lives. It's definitely benefiting the children if you are taking care of them properly, right? Um, but you gave that up for quote unquote married life, right? And so that's why I say, Olivia, when you talk about this lady, it should be nothing but, and I get, and see, that's where the hurt is. It's still hurt there, because there should be nothing but admiration for that lady, for what she has done for your kids, right? I would zip my lip, baby, until I got my kids back. Then I say whatever I wanted to say is till my kids was right next to me, honey, permanently. But until then, I wouldn't say not a nan thing about that lady, right? So, as a therapist, my question would become to her, to the girlfriend, what uh circumstances allowed her to do that? Because I would think that there might be some self-esteem issues there. There may be some confidence issues there. And things like that. And it may not be, it's just my opinion, just guessing, just me thinking out loud. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. So, Olivia also seems like she said on one hand, she vlogs her life, and she tells the people about her life and stuff like that. But then when she get on the camera, she act like she aggravated by people. She told the lady, Olivia told the lady, somebody said, y'all gotta forgive me. Somebody said, you didn't had that information for a long time. You just not looking for where the game gonna be at. Cause I was thinking that too. I said, well, dang, she just gave it to you today. Baby, Olivia got mad. Olivia said, get off my damn lie. I said, baby, she mad at the people. But you the one came out here and told the people that. Like, I feel like if you don't want the people to know, don't say nothing. Girl, you should have had that. Let me tell you something. You should have had that dang on camera. This is just my recommendation, child. Because listen, them ain't my kids. You should have had that dang on camera and turn that camera on when you got to the game. And if you didn't get to the game that happened today or tomorrow, whenever, turn on that camera at the game next week. Whatever game you show up to, that's when you turn on that camera. You showed that you was at the game, and then when you get back in the car, that's when you can say, I'm always gonna be there for my babies. They're my kids. That's my son that made that touchdown. It's me, his mom, that was at his game. Girl, that's when you can say something. That's when you can say something. But you sitting in the car in the dark talking about all you got is a schedule. Girl, well, what did you do with the schedule? Girl, it ain't no way I wouldn't find out where my baby was. It ain't no way. And guess what? If it is true that he ain't telling you what the stuff is and it's required for him to tell you, guess who gonna be on the phone Monday? His mama. Well, I would be calling the judge, the lawyer, whoever. The requirement is this, and this. You deal with that behind the scenes. The requirement is to tell me where it is, the address, this is. This is what I received. Do it look like an address here to you? Girl, you gotta get some fight in you, Olivia. You gotta get some fight in you. So that's what tells me too that half the stuff Olivia's saying ain't true, and half the stuff he's probably saying ain't true either. And again, the girlfriend, they said, now this is all from videos and stuff that I've seen or whatever. Everything is alleged unless it's not, child. I don't know, but it looked like he was on Instagram seeing all this stuff, and the girlfriend was next to him. Couldn't be me, girl. That couldn't have been me. It's fine, we'll discuss your baby mama outside of this thing. Even if you in your car by yourself, you want to do it live or whatever, but don't do that in front of me. Don't do that in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Because and then I feel like too, maybe she's a really wonderful lady, gotta be. Because him talking about their mom like that only would give, because I've worked with a lot of families, y'all, and I've seen this. I'm telling y'all, him talking about their mom like that will only give his girlfriend ammunition to uh treat her children a certain way, even though she may not intend to treat them that way. She is doing it. It could be little small things, right? It could be little petty things that they don't even realize that she doing because she don't like their mama. Because the daddy don't like their mama. You see what I'm saying? Because the daddy don't like their mama. So, you know, that him doing that, that's not right either. He going to have to compose himself. And the way that he talking about his mama, if they have any sons, that's how his son gonna be talking to women and feeling like, what a woman should do, what she shouldn't be doing, and all of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? He gotta watch that. He gonna have to watch that because that's where they learn that stuff from. Now it would have been okay because sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And he could have, wanted to express his grievances or whatever. She didn't come to the games. We were expecting her, but that's okay. Maybe she'll come next time because in the back of your mind that your son might be listening or your son might hear this one day, or even your daughters. You know what I'm saying? But for you to come and kind of talk bad about her, call out her name and stuff like that, that's not right either. So again, that tells me that it's some hurt there. Now, whether it's hurt because we broke up and I thought this was gonna be forever, and you ain't do right, and I'm disappointed because you didn't do right, and or it's because you disappointed my kids, and that's messed up. That now me and you didn't work out, but I never thought you would do this to our kids like that. So, telling them you're gonna come and all that stuff and you didn't show up and everything, that could be a whole different story. Um so yeah. So let me see what else. I think that was all I had, y'all. But child, this is a mess. And it's interesting, I'm always interested to I be interested to see how their mind is. Why is it that their mind works like this? Like the thought process is very interesting to me. Um and really just kind of wanting to see how they're gonna get out of this whole situation. Like what's coming next. But I just feel like if you don't want the people to know, if you and then too, you know what I thought? I said, well, did Olivia get on here? Because she kept telling people, oh, I couldn't find it or whatever. Did Olivia get on here so her subscribers could tell her what a game was? Like, did she get on here for them to help her find the location? Because after she said that and somebody was saying, oh, it's here or whatever, she was like, oh, I already had the information. And then like 2 seconds later, she was like, well, I'm gonna get up off of here. Olivia finna go to the game because the lady told her what the game was. I'm like, maybe that's why she got on here. It was confusing to me. Y'all make sure y'all like the live, please and thank you. America's Justice. Oh, I like that name. Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining the live. Make sure y'all like the live. Um, but yeah, so Olivia, that's really my last thing. The last thing I want to say to Olivia is Olivia, I'm gonna need you. Right, they both need to grow up. I agree. I agree. But Olivia, I'm gonna need you to understand what mom duties really look like. Like for real. I'ma need you to figure out what mom duties really look like. And baby, one of the characteristics is not lazy. One of the characteristics is not just sitting there wondering when you gonna figure it out or wonder or oh I just do it next time. No, you doing it now. You doing it now. It ain't never been a time, like I said, and I'm married. Now, sometimes my husband, he might take the child to the game or might take the child to the gymnastics, maybe, whatever, here and there or whatever. But I'm the one who knows what time they go, where it's gonna be at, how much money it's gonna cost to get the costume, when the play is coming. Heck, I gotta let him know what time and day the play is and remind him. That's mom's responsibility because it just is. So that tells me too. And see, this is why the ex-husband, maybe why he mad too, because when you're in a relationship, when you marry, you give a lot. It's a lot of give and take, it's a lot of sacrifice. You're doing things sometimes again where you don't feel like doing it, you want to do it anyway. You're doing it just because it need to get done. You see what I'm saying? And it appears to me too that maybe, just maybe, because remember, I just started watching the girl. I ain't been watching it for no years. Just maybe that when they were together, that he may have been doing everything. So now he resent her for that. Like, this is why I kind of like in his head. I wonder if he thinking this why I wanted to leave your butt in the first place because you don't have no oomph about yourself. Like you're not even trying to see where your son game is. It's almost like okay, he resent her, so it's kind of like payback. Okay, I'm gonna just give her but the schedule and let her figure it out. I bet she don't figure it out. But see, that's petty, and that don't help your kids because your son he want his mama at the game. So just go ahead and get a girl the address. Just go and give it to her so she can show up. But see, you got to have a level of maturity for that. Your emotional intelligence got to be way up there for you to say, you know what, I got another lady on my arm. It's cool. I'm gonna do what I need to do for my kids. She show up, she show up. She don't, she don't. I gave her all the information. I'm gonna give her the address. I ain't worried about it. I ain't gonna say nothing, and let her do what she gonna do. As long as you know you being a great dad, you there for your kids, and they got a mother figure, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. But you can't be doing little stuff like that. That's being passive aggressive. Like, okay, yeah, I told her where it was. Well, yeah, but you ain't give her the address. Come on now. Come on, man. You ain't give her the address. Don't do that. Don't do that. Now, Olivia could be lying. She could be like, who knows? Because again, she is their mom. And I don't care what mistakes you have made as a mom. I don't care what you've done. Again, every mom has made mistakes. But I don't know a mom who don't want their kids, especially after they have their kids are not in their custody anymore. It's kind of like now you pause and reflect and say, okay, well, dang, like I didn't think that my kids would ever be away from me. Let me get my stuff together as best I can. And again, if you've never really had to get your stuff together, you're gonna have a hard road. You're gonna have a hard road, especially if everybody been doing stuff for you. You've always been quote unquote taken care of. You ain't really never had to do nothing for real. You may have had little odd jobs here and there, stuff like that, but you ain't never really had no struggle. Now your kids away from you. Oh baby, that's some struggle. And you don't even know what to do because you ain't never had to do that. Oh, hey, just Tiffany. Hey. Thank you for joining the live. Yeah, I love YouTube. Like it's just like a outlet. it's an outlet for me. Um, and I like talking about mental health and stuff like that. And sometimes I'll react. I react usually on like celebrity trending topics when it has to do with mental health, or if I feel like um it may have something to do with mental health or related to that, then I'll talk about it. But sometimes I'll react if I see like YouTube mommy video and I'm like, what in the world is this? I'm like, what in the world is this? So it's, but it's all entertainment. It's all entertainment. And for my channel too, it's about education as well. So yeah, so I'm gonna end it with that, y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here. Just wanted to come real quick and talk about that. So yeah, so moral of the story, Olivia, I'm gonna need you to understand what mommy duties include, even though your kids are not in your care. Um, and we'll talk later. Bye.